Hey, everybody, welcome to the Rob and Mike Show. I am Rob.
And Mike, welcome.
Okay, and today we are going to talk about intimacy as it relates to the disability community. And what does intimacy mean? And well, that's a good question, actually, because in my opinion, it's a little like asking, what is success? Okay, it means different things to different people.
Right.
And I guess the best example I can use is I knew a couple when I was going to school at Edinburgh University, and they both had what people would call severe disabilities. Okay, he had a spinal cord injury, and he had less functioning than either you or I do, Mike. And she had cerebral palsy and was very involved. And as you know, CP runs the gamut from people who have trouble communicating to people who you wouldn't even know had CP. Okay, but this person was really involved. And at the time that I remember, at the time I knew this couple, I was thinking to myself, okay, how can they be intimate without like two other people being in the room or something like that?
Right.
And it forced me to start to think, okay, obviously it doesn't bother them that they can't be intimate in the traditional way that we think of intimacy, okay? So for them, maybe holding hands,
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's
snuggling,
so many different levels of intimacy.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, a spinal cord injury can mean a variety of things.
Oh, sure.
In the body.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we're not going to get graphic and anything like that. But
Right,
there's
right.
things that work and don't work when you have a certain level of spinal cord injury.
Sure.
And like Rob said, that really could be intimacy, holding hands, laying together.
Watching a movie together. Yeah.
So many different levels of intimacy. I think when it comes to stuff like intimacy, I remember when I first was injured, you may have felt the same. I remember thinking, well, there we go. I'm never going to meet anybody again, and nobody's going to want me, nobody's going to like me or love me or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not true. There are people. I think it's your personality that people fall in love with. Not necessarily the physical being that you are. And yeah, so I was married for 15 years, and we had a great relationship. I think part of the learning process. Sure. There's a major learning process, and it becomes a communication point.
Yes.
You cannot communicate with the person that you want to be intimate with. You're not going to be intimate with that person.
Right.
So you have to have some type of communication. You have to let them know what your wants and needs and desires are and what you can and cannot do. And you have to move on from there.
Yeah, that's a little bit painful for me because when you bring up about communication, it reminds me what I didn't do during my first marriage. Okay, it started, we were first getting to know each other, and at the time, she had no experience dating anybody with any kind of disability. So really, it was up to me to say, okay, here's what I'm able to do, and here's what I can't do. And if I had communicated, it's quite possible we would not have ended up being together because certain things were important to her that I wasn't able to do. But I didn't bring it up because I was afraid of losing her. And 7 years later, I did lose her.
Ultimately, things catch up.
Yeah. I mean, communication is the key. And
I think I surely believe that. The other thing is when it comes to communication, it doesn't necessarily have to be an intimacy thing. I think communication, we're kind of making this into a rule.
Right, yeah.
But when I first started dating the girl who would become my wife, there were certain things that she enjoyed doing that I just couldn't do.
Right.
So talking to that person and finding things to do together. That's
Sure.
intimacy. Sure. Finding your niche where you say, hey, listen, I can't do that anymore. I know you love doing this. How about we do this together?
Right.
How do we do that together?
Right.
And we'll make that our own.
Or finding it, or I'm sorry, but maybe finding a different way to do the same thing. Yeah, yeah.
To make it happen. I just think, that is a part of intimacy.
Sure it is.
Talking things out. Intimacy is being together. I think it's being together with someone you love.
That's right.
And want to spend time with, whether it's going from the holding hands, just being together, to let's have together at this time.
Yeah, you have to communicate your needs. And I think, in my opinion at least, it's unfair and it's tempting to say this, that someone who's able-bodied, well, if they demand this or that, then they're being shallow. Right. Or they're not being sensitive. Well, I don't believe that, because we're all a sum total of our experiences. And if this is a deal breaker that I'm not able to do, then you got to tell me that. Well, we'll part ways.
I think it's better. I agree with you 100%. It's better to communicate up front to find out whether or not it's going to work.
Yes.
And they say love is very powerful, and love for somebody might overcome some of those issues. But I'd rather know before we get too deep.
Yeah.
And I really fall for this person rather than go 7 years with me. I was going to get through it.
Yeah.
We eventually got to that point where had maybe we talked about some of the issues that caused our divorce when we started dating. Yeah. We don't go through that heartbreak, or we change things. It's a tricky game, because I know for me, she was the first person that I really dated seriously after my accident. And I really didn't know how to talk. I don't remember, when you're a little embarrassed about doing things like that.
Well, sure.
There's certain things that you say, well, I can't do that. And you want that person, you want the person to look at you and just think, you can't do that. Well, I need it.
Right.
So it's just one of those things to say, I can't. But it's embarrassing sometimes to talk about it.
Well, sure it is.
And it's one of those things that I've been a very keep it to yourself type person for a lot of my early years. A little bit up more as I got older. Yeah. But early on, I think it was a lot more. I'm just gonna keep this to myself.
Because you're self-conscious.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think I've learned with you can't do that.
No, you can't.
You need to, and this has turned into a communication. It's become full circle back to that. If you're a person with a disability, you just have to do something, you must communicate with that person. You must have a conversation that lays out things about
absolutely
who you are, what you're all about, what your needs are, what your wants are. We'll talk it over. Sure. If it's something, if the love is truly there, you're going to figure it out.
That's right.
You're going to find a way to stay together. If it's, you can't fulfill my needs in part ways, or it wasn't meant to be. In my opinion, it wasn't meant to be.
That's how I feel too. Yeah. You brought up a great point before. You hear all the locker room talk about physical attributes and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, all those things fade away. Okay. What remains is the personality. All right. Your brain and your heart. And those don't change. Well, not significantly. Everything else dies away, man. It changes, and it just, our bodies change. That's how it is.
I've said this to several people. You obviously get a look like a snark or whatever. I say, even though I broke my neck, I'm a quadriplegic. I still have the two most important things working that I can have: my brain and my health. Right. And those are the two things that keep me going, and they will keep anybody going.
Yeah.
And if you can use those to the best ability.
Some, the plain truth is, some able-bodied people and some people with disabilities can't handle going out with, marrying, whatever you want to say, someone else with a disability, okay, or they don't have one and they can't handle it, whatever it is. And, they still sort of see us as damaged goods. And that's, we have, yeah. And I used to really vilify that whole thing, but hey, it is what it is.
Hey, you know what? My view, a lot of times, it's what makes me unique. Yeah, it makes me a little bit different. But I'm still who I am.
Right,
You know,
right.
I still, you know, things don't slow me down. Slow me down.
Yeah.
There are certain things that slow me down, but generally speaking, I still do everything I ever done.
Well, sure you
Get
do.
out and do things.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to date the prettiest girl I see. So, you know, that hasn't changed from pre-accident to
Right,
now.
right.
So, yeah. But yeah, I think it comes to intimacy with varying levels of intimacy. Like you said, we started. Don't think that it's all about having to show how much you love the person in a physical relationship. Right. Because there are a lot of other ways that you show intimacy. Sure. And I think it begins with communication.
It has to.
And you develop your own form of intimacy with
And, when I was newly injured, I'm sure, it happened to you, like you said before, that you're really self-conscious. All you can think about is this laundry list of things I can't do anymore.
Right.
And who's going to want me when they can have somebody who doesn't have a disability? But the truth is, the way I look at it, my chair sort of weeds out the people who don't belong in my life anyway.
I never thought about that. That's a great way of looking at it.
I mean, that's what I've come to learn over time, so.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate to have great friends and family, so I don't have to worry.
Sure.
Not the right actually people that they can't accept it, they can go with it.
That's right. So buckle up out there, and there's somebody for everybody. I truly believe that. And that's it. It's
Awesome.
I guess.
Yeah, great.
Wow.
He's wrong.
And he's Mike, and I'm the better looking one.
That's right.
But anyway, we'll see you next month.
Amen. Right on. Have a good one. That's a long.